A PSA 8 of this card sold for $358. PSA 10, more than $10,000. Today we break it down. The 1988 Fleer Michael Jordan All-Star card. Last recorded sale on this card in PSA 9 was $1,116. It's up 34% in the last 3 months. This is the Card Matrix Lab, combining market data, a custom dashboard, and my decades of collecting experience to analyze cards. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research. Let's get to the data. So the PSA population report, there's more than 21,000 copies graded by PSA, with 4,181 in the PSA 9 grade and only 389 in the PSA 10 grade. PSA 9 represents 19.8% of the population. PSA 8 is the most common grade at 37% of the population. And PSA 10, just 1.8% of the population with only 389 copies, which is a very scarce for a Michael Jordan base card here. What does each grade cost and how many exist? PSA 8, $358, like we said before. PSA 9, a little more than $1,000. And then PSA 10, more than $10,000. That's almost a 30x difference between the 8 and the 10. Even to go from the 9 to the 10, that's a 9x difference. In terms of population, you have a very, very low population in the 10, and then it goes up from there. And price premium from 8 to 9 is 3.1x, and then population, there's 1.9x more PSA 8s than PSA 9s. The market activity for this Jordan in PSA 9, 65 sales in the last 90 days. That's about 22 every 30 days. The average sale price of $933. The market for this card is very high with the 65 completed sales. There's consistent demand. The lowest price was $743, the highest $1127. That is quite a spread, $384 within the PSA 9 grade, most likely driven by centering, surface quality, and holder generation. The card is on an upward trend. The last sale was $1,116, which is above the typical range of $933. Things to look for with this card is centering, surface and print quality, and also eye appeal in general, which kind of encompasses everything. Centering is definitely the high driver here. That's going to get you towards the top of the range. Also surface and print quality. The manufacturing process of late 80s Fleer cards is quite low, so there's more defects than you would expect in a modern card, something to keep in mind. Listing supply on this card is moderate. You go on eBay, there's quite a few PSA 9s listed, a lot of PSA 8s listed as well. This card is available, it just may be more outside the typical range. People are putting the prices above the typical range generally on eBay to try to establish a new comp high. What does the hobby think about this card? Well, this is the third year of Fleer, so the third Fleer card for Michael Jordan. It's an all-star subset card. He also has a regular base card in the set and a sticker, but here's the subset all-star card. PSA 9 is in a very strong position here in terms of the population curve to price. You're getting a high-quality card at the fraction of the price of a PSA 10, but a significant step up from the PSA 8. This card is up 34% in the last 90 days. Increasing demand. Collectors, this is a card collectors want. And why does this card matter to collectors? Well, the photo on this card is iconic. It's from the 1988 Slam Dunk Contest, where Jordan battled Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film, to the Slam Dunk title. He had to bring out all the stops, and he did the free throw line dunk, kind of cementing his legacy in Slam Dunk Contest lore here. And this card captures that iconic moment. What does the PSA 9 actually look like on this card? I was looking on eBay. There's a lot of cards here. PSA 9 OC, off-center qualifiers. That's a common issue with this card, is the centering. If you do see a PSA 9 OC, those typically are valued at like a PSA 7, 2 grades down, but it will depend on how severe the centering issues are. The other thing, you can see that with the print defects, there's a lot of blue here, a lot of colors that can also make it more prone to print defect type issues with this card. And those two things really make the PSA 10 quite rare, with just 1.8% of the copies, like we have said before, which is a tough. These late FLIR issues or early FLIR issues are very tough in the centering and the print, just based on the manufacturing process. Should you target the PSA 9 or go for the 8 and save the money, or really open up your wallet and go for the 10? Well, this is data, not advice, but I do like the PSA 9 card. It's kind of a sweet spot between the 8 and the 10. The 10 is going to cost you a lot more money, but you're going to get the quality, close to the quality of a 10 with a 9. And it's quite a big step up from the 8. Overall, market signal is very strong on this card with high liquidity. The card has been trending up, moderate supply. Overall, it's a really great kind of Michael Jordan card for any Michael Jordan collector, especially with this iconic pose on it. So I'll check you out on the next card. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon. Thanks.